entire screen. So if you remember dalam our first lesson, I gave you a homework to watch the video macam mana how did they tour the pharmaceutical manufacturing plant. Okay, macam mana ubat tu sampai di warehouse, and then warehouse akan sample a small portion bagi pada production department, and production department akan start formulate the drug, masuk dalam grinding machine, mixing, coating, compression, packaging, and then dia akan bagi that fully finished product to QC lab, and QC lab akan run all the tests. Okay, so the chapters, as I mentioned, the chapters in this module, basically they akan cover the whole aspects of how a drug is produced and marketed. Okay, daripada raw material, bahan-bahan asas, dia punya active pharmaceutical ingredient, the API, what makes the drug works adalah API. API stands for active pharmaceutical ingredient. And then dalam production department dia akan campur API dengan all the other ingredients lah, all the sugar, all the coating agent, binding agent, and then dia akan compress jadi sebiji tablet, and then dia akan package, masuk dalam carton, masuk dalam blister, and then QC akan run all the tests. So ada sebab kenapa kita run all the tests, sebab kita nak pastikan all the drugs are safe to be consumed and efficient as a drug. Kalau kita makan ubat tu, kita nak ubat tu selamat untuk dimakan, tak membahayakan kesihatan kita. And also kita nak ubat tu berkesan. Kalau kita makan ubat tapi tak lega-lega, sakit tu tak hilang-hilang, so something is wrong with the quality. So kita nak make sure, why do we test all the drugs dalam makmal, is to make sure it is safe to be consumed and its quality and its efficacy is as intended. Kalau kita makan Panadol sebab kita nak lega sakit kepala, sebab kita nak lega demam. Kalau kita makan chlorpheniramine, kita nak hilangkan allergy reactions, hilang gatal-gatal, kemerah-merahan, nak hilangkan hingus, runny nose. So that's the intended purposes of drugs. So we want to make sure it works as it is intended. So to begin today's lesson, saya nak mulakan dengan showing you a document. So saya dah cerita last week, before I get into teaching, before I was a teacher, before I became a lecturer, I was a pharmaceutical chemist. So I worked in lab. Sorry, let me mute my phone. So I work in QC lab, quality control lab. So I am what they call QC chemist, quality control chemist. So when I go into work every day, saya masuk dalam makmal, I will analyze drugs. Saya akan test ubat-ubat yang ada dalam makmal yang dah diterima daripada production department. Saya akan test dia punya qualities. So how do I perform this test and why do I perform this test adalah seperti yang saya cerita tadi lah, nak pastikan ubat ini selamat dan berkesan. So how do I perform it? So this is one document yang mana saya guna untuk rujuk macam mana nak perform this test. So ini adalah dokumen daripada Pharma Niaga Manufacturing Berhad, my old workplace. Dokumen ni dah obsolete, Pharma Niaga dah tak pakai dah out of what they call it, expiration date, daripada update dah. Okay, so they found new methods, they update some of the instruments. So dokumen lama ni pakai old methods, older instruments, so they are obsolete. So saya boleh guna, saya minta lah dekat my old colleagues, boleh tak saya nak minta yang dah obsolete, saya nak guna sebagai contoh to show students. So this is the document kita panggil what they in the business call standard test procedure, STP. Okay, the short for it adalah STP. So kalau saya nak buat test untuk chlorpheniramine tablet, saya akan buka this file, this STP for chlorpheniramine, and I can perform all the tests that are listed in this document. So if you can see, number 1 here, test pertama adalah appearance. Kita akan check the appearance of the tablet. So saya ambil the sample of chlorpheniramine tablets yang diberikan pada saya oleh production department. Saya akan tengok, saya akan check with my eyes dia punya appearance. So macam mana saya nak pastikan dia punya appearance is up to standard or not? Ada dia punya specification dekat sini. Shelf life and release limit. So kita fokus on release limit here. So dia dipanggil sebagai release limit kerana kalau ubat tu dia punya appearance tak patuhi release limit, dia tidak boleh di-release. Kita tak boleh lepaskan dia untuk dipasarkan. That's why it is called release limit. We won't be able to release the product if it does not pass this test. So kalau saya ambil tablet chlorpheniramine, I check the appearance. So the appearance, it should be yellow in color, warna kuning. The shape should be round. Its surfaces should be flat. Okay, tablet tu bahagian atas dan bawah adalah rata, tak kembung, tak mencengkung, tak melengkung. And bevel edge tablet, dia punya edge. What's edge in BM? Dia punya, kamu tahu kan edge kan? At the edge of the cliff, at the edge of the table. Bevel edge tu macam inilah. Am I doing it right? Can you see? Dia punya at the edge is not tajam macam ni. Bevel edge maksudnya dia punya dia punya edge is melengkung. Okay, it is curved. That's what it means by beveled edge. And then there ada Pharma Niaga icon on one side of the tablet and a line, a score line on the other. So saya just check all these details. Ada tak Pharma Niaga logo on one side and a score line on the other? Warna dia kuning ataupun tidak? Okay, so all the details macam mana untuk properly form this ada dalam pharmacopoeia. So pharmacopoeia kalau kamu tak tahu, it's like the Bible of the analytical, pharmaceutical analysis. Okay, it's like a kitab. Bila saya cakap Bible tu, saya masukkan dia sebagai kitab yang semua orang rujuk. Okay, so pharmacopoeia is a document, it's a kitab that people refer to, pharmaceutical analysts refer to if they want to perform any test. So why do we do that? It is because pharmacopoeia is, dalam pharmacopoeia tu, it is listed all the registered drugs in a certain country. So for example, for a country that is big, that has a lot of varieties of drugs registered to it, dia boleh produce, dia boleh keluarkan satu pharmacopoeia. So selalunya negara-negara yang besar ada pharmacopoeia, yang kecil-kecil tidak ada. So for example, US, the United States ada pharmacopoeia tersendiri because ada banyak ubat yang didaftarkan dalam negara tersebut. So untuk pharmacopoeia US kita panggil sebagai US Pharmacopoeia. The short for it adalah USP. US stands for United States, P is for pharmacopoeia. So dalam this US Pharmacopoeia adalah segala detail ubat yang didaftarkan dalam negara Amerika, United States. So kalau ada ubat Panadol dalam tu, kalau kita nak test ubat Panadol based on USP, US Pharmacopoeia, kita boleh buka US Pharmacopoeia and cari directory untuk Panadol. So ada disenaraikan dia punya appearance, macam mana nak check for appearance, macam mana nak buat, all the procedure macam mana, step by step semua ditulis dalam tu. Okay, so that is a pharmacopoeia. So all the tests, all the details, appearance, macam mana nak formulate, macam mana nak buat ubat tu ada di dalam pharmacopoeia. So that's why saya panggil dia sebagai kitab. Everything is listed in pharmacopoeia. Daripada macam mana nak buat, dia punya appearance, all the technical and all the theories of producing and testing the drugs are inside a pharmacopoeia. So the most used pharmacopoeias adalah US, USP, British, which is BP, EP, European Pharmacopoeia, JP, Japanese Pharmacopoeia. These are the four that I have used bila saya pernah kerja as a chemist dulu. Okay? So this is how we, disebabkan ada banyak pharmacopoeia. Okay, saya mention tadi ada the big four, US, British, European and Japanese. So kita tak boleh nak macam bila kita masuk dalam makmal, bila nak test chlorpheniramine, saya tak boleh nak suka hati, okay, hari ni saya nak buat test chlorpheniramine gunakan US Pharmacopoeia. Esoknya saya nak test gunakan British. And then lusa minggu depan saya nak test pakai Japanese pula. So that is not standardized because kalau ada problem, kita susah nak detect. The problem ni lies in where? Dekat method ke, dekat instrument ke, dekat human error. Okay, so to limit the error, untuk kurangkan risiko buat kesalahan ataupun risiko di mana wujudnya ralat, kita akan select one method sahaja untuk dimasukkan dalam standard test. Kita gunakan for routine use. So this is how a standard test procedure is created. Okay, so somebody in the beginning of the manufacturing days, kalau before any manufacturing started, so somebody akan go through all this pharmacopoeia. Dia akan check kita dekat makmal ada instrumen apa, ada chemical apa. So dia akan pilih lah method from each pharmacopoeia ni mana yang sesuai dengan keadaan lab, keadaan kilang tersebut. So kalau macam katalah untuk Japanese pharmacopoeia kena pakai this instrument, tapi kita tak ada this instrument. So tak boleh nak test chlorpheniramine tablet menggunakan Japanese pharmacopoeia methods. So saya check US pharmacopoeia, okay, this chemical kita ada. Method untuk test chlorpheniramine, chemical tu kita ada. Instrumen ni kita ada. So we have all the necessities untuk menggunakan pakai kaedah analisis yang ada dalam US pharmacopoeia. So I select the USP method untuk test chlorpheniramine untuk digunakan pakai as routine test. So every day kalau saya nak masuk makmal, saya nak test chlorpheniramine, saya just buka this STP because kita dah pilih based on our keperluan yang ada dalam makmal kita. Okay, so you remember there are many methods to do one test. So we choose the test that is suitable with our apa yang kita ada. Okay, kalau tak ada that instrument, kita tak boleh nak guna that method. So we reject that method. Kita ada all the necessities, all the requirements for this method from USP, we use that method. Okay, so this is that is how a standard test procedure is created, it is developed. Okay, so all in all untuk chlorpheniramine tablet ni ada sebanyak 11 test kesemuanya. If I scroll down slowly, you can see lah ada banyak test. Test number 9 is assay, which I will use as an example later. Test number 10 is dissolution, if I'm not mistaken. And test number 9 is the last one, sorry, okay. So number 9 is the last test for chlorpheniramine tablet. So for this tablet to be released to the market, dia perlu lulus, dia perlu pass all 9 tests. Okay, so kalau ada satu saja test dia tak pass, tak boleh release to the market. Okay, so that is in a nutshell, secara kasarnya, how do we perform test in a QC lab? We refer to a document which we call standard test procedure, and the standard test procedure is taken from Pharmacopoeia, which is the book that we used to refer to because it contains all the details, all the information about registered drugs in all over the world. Okay, so that is basically the brief introduction to how do we perform tests, how do we perform analysis dalam makmal. So as a QC analyst, kita tak boleh buat sesuka hati kita. Macam saya tak boleh nak masuk lab one day, okay, ada ubat ni, amoxicillin tablet, antibiotics. So saya tak boleh just buka Google, how do we perform this test? Saya nak test pakai Google cakap okay, method number ni is the best. Tapi bila saya buat dalam makmal, kita tak ada instrumen. We don't have the chemical that we need to do the test. Okay, so I have to use the validated and the standardized method. Okay, bila validated dan standardized tu maksudnya method yang sudah dipilih daripada pharmacopoeia and kita dah test kaedah tu. Bila kita buat menggunakan kaedah tu, when we use the method that we have chosen, it works best with our product. It works best with what we have, with the instrument we have, with the chemicals that we have. Okay, itu maksud validated. Dia sudah kaedah tu sudah dicuba dan berjaya, berkesan. Okay, itu maksud validated. Standardized means kita guna that method the same. Okay, standardized maksudnya everybody is doing the same test. Dalam makmal tu ada like multiple staff, ada 10 staff. Standardized means semua orang menggunakan kaedah yang sama. Okay, ada sebabnya kenapa kita nak standardized, because kalau ada macam contohnya kalau macam ada A patient makan chlorpheniramine tablet ni tak berkesan, tak lega-lega pun dia punya hingus, masih lagi meleleh. So dia katalah dia tulis complain to the company, ubat ni tak berkesan, so something is wrong. Please check. So policy company yang telah ditetapkan oleh NPRA, which is the organisation that yang bagi lesen to manufacturing plants dekat Malaysia ni, kalau ada complain, kalau ada a written product, manufacturing plant tu, the lab must do investigation, must perform investigation. Kenapa ubat ni orang kata tak berkesan? Kenapa dia makan dia punya hingus tak lega-lega? Kenapa dia punya allergy reactions tak berkurang? So there must be something wrong. Could there be something wrong? You have to perform test, check it out. So lab kena check lah kenapa dia makan tak berkesan, perform assay test. Assay test adalah test yang kita guna untuk check kandungan, the dose of the tablets. So kalau kandungan ubat tu kurang, so that's why patients makan tak lega-lega sakit. Okay, so that's why usually bila komplain datang cakap makan tak berkesan, kita akan perform assay test. Kita check the content dulu. Okay, so that's the reason why semua orang kena buat menggunakan kaedah yang sama. Sebab kalau macam 10 orang tapi this one person guna method from US pharmacopoeia, this person guna method from Japanese, this one guna from British, this one guna from EU. So ada banyak faktor yang boleh menyumbang kepada kesalahan. So susah untuk kita buat investigation. So salah ni kepada orang yang buat mistake measurement menggunakan USP ke, dia orang JP ni salah guna chemical ke, orang yang buat test guna BP ni British pharmacopoeia menggunakan instrumen yang salah ke. So there's too many factor of error, source of errors. So susah untuk kita buat, tak efficient lah kerja-kerja dalam makmal tu. So it will take a lot of days to pinpoint one problem. So that's why if everybody uses a standardized method, kita dah eliminate kebarangkalian faktor method mana satu salah. Everybody uses USP. So make that settles it lah. Macam okay, kita check maybe everybody buat salah measurement ke, salah guna instrumen ke, salah guna chemical ke. So that's why kita perlukan a standardized method. Itu maksud standardized, the term standardized. Okay. So apa dia? Okay, so where's the Google Classroom? Okay, so that's why dalam lesson number 1 saya tunjuk, saya nak kamu tengok this video of the tour of the manufacturing plant. So we have gone through that. So in lesson number 2, this is basically the actual introduction to instrumentation analysis. So dalam this chapter kamu akan go through what is instrumentation analysis and what is QC. QC is vital in instrumentation analysis because this section of the pharmaceutical manufacturing, it performs all the analysis. Okay, QC yang buat all the analysis. So analysis is basically, as I have shown you dalam dokumen ni, adalah a series of tests. Okay, ada pelbagai test yang perlu dibuat. Kita test dari segi dia punya assay, dia punya kandungan. The number 1 tadi adalah dia punya appearance. Because appearance also can tell if something is wrong or not with the product. Kalau ubat tu sepatutnya warna kuning, tapi bila sampai pada QC department, warna dia dah jadi macam pale yellow. Dah jadi warna putih-putih, dah start develop. So what is the white spot? Kulat ke? A stain from the chemicals, expired chemicals ke? So that could be an indicator something is wrong. So that's why appearance is also listed as a test. Kita nak check, kita nak cover all aspect. Okay? Identification adalah sejenis test yang mana kita buat untuk kita identify the active ingredient of the tablet. Okay, kalau lah macam ubat tablet chlorpheniramine ini datang masuk dalam QC lab, kita perlu pastikan, kita perlu buat satu test untuk pastikan the active ingredient of the chlorpheniramine tablet adalah chlorpheniramine malate. Okay, chlorpheniramine malate is the API, is the active ingredient untuk chlorpheniramine tablet. Without the API, the drug will not work. Makan ubat tak berkesan-kesan. It's just a placebo. A placebo is a term that we use to indicate that something does not contain the active ingredient. Okay. So we perform identification test. So there are many ways to perform identification test. Kita boleh buat melting point test. Kita boleh buat spectroscopy. So in this case, untuk chlorpheniramine ni kita buat, tak silap saya, chromatografi, TLC, yes. So kita akan bandingkan our tablet dengan a standard solution. Okay, so this is where students sometimes get confused. Apakah itu standard solution? Okay, so a standard solution adalah solution larutan yang hanya mengandungi bahan yang sama seperti active ingredient sesuatu ubat tu. Okay, so bahan ni ada dijual. So contohnya kalau chlorpheniramine tablet, dia punya active ingredient adalah chlorpheniramine malate. Okay, chlorpheniramine malate ni adalah bahan yang membuatkan chlorpheniramine tablet tu berkesan. It works. It stops the runny nose. It stops the itchiness. It stops all the rash. Okay, dia adalah satu bahan yang akan bertindak balas dengan badan kita to stop all those allergic reactions. Okay, so this chlorpheniramine malate ni boleh dihasilkan secara sintetik dalam makmal. So we can produce the substance in lab. So manufacturing plant boleh beli this material as raw material. Okay, so dia hanya katakanlah nak test chlorpheniramine tablet, kita order, okay, 100 kilograms of, we order 200 milligrams of a reference standard from USP, US Pharmacopoeia. So all these USP, all these pharmacopoeia, contohnya macam US, British, Japanese and European, they can produce these substances, this reference standard kita panggil. Okay, so kenapa dipanggil sebagai reference standard? Because standard ni akan digunakan sebagai rujukan, reference. Okay, so bila kita buat most test, kita akan rujuk, kita akan test our sample, our product with a reference. Kita akan bandingkan untuk pastikan quality of the product, of our product tu sama dengan quality of the standard. So standard, reference standard ni, dia punya quality is high. Dia punya purity is high. Dia punya ketulinan tu tinggi. Okay? Ketulinan tinggi maksudnya dalam satu bahan tu, dia hanya mengandungi that substance sahaja. Dia tidak mengandungi campuran bahan-bahan yang lain. One tablet dalam kilang kita tu, kita dah campur dah API, campur dengan coating agent, binding agent, coloring agent, sugar and stuff. So dalam satu tablet tu is a mixture of ingredients. Dia ketulinan dia rendah, tapi dia mengandungi a certain amount, a certain dose of the API, which is what is important in a tablet. So untuk bandingkan, untuk perform a test, untuk check whether dia mengandungi kandungan yang betul, kandungan API yang betul ataupun tidak, kita perlu gunakan sesuatu bahan yang mempunyai kandungan API yang tinggi. So we should use a substance yang mana ketulinannya tinggi. Okay, so I'll show you a picture of a reference standard. Reference standard chlorpheniramine. Oh no, ada ke dalam file. Okay, so this is what a reference standard packaging looks like. So kita boleh order from, this is from USP. So kalau kita nak order from USP, kalau kita order one from USP, this is how one will arrive to us. So ini dia punya measurement adalah 100 gram saja, sikit saja 100 gram. Okay, So dalam bekas ni hanya mengandungi, bahan ni hanya mengandungi chlorpheniramine malate sahaja. How do we know it? Because the people at USP, the chemists, the analyst at USP dah check dah the kandungan. Dia hanya mengandungi 100% of chlorpheniramine malate. Tak ada campuran bahan-bahan yang lain lah. Okay, all the ingredients are listed dalam dia punya sijil, Certificate of Analysis. So kalau kita nak perform a chlorpheniramine tablet, we buy 1 bottle of this, we prepare a solution yang mengandungi chlorpheniramine malate sahaja, and then kita prepare 1 solution from our tablet. So we take tablet, kita grind, hancurkan dia with a pestle and mortar, masukkan dalam a solvent, larutkan dia at a certain volume, and then kita masukkan dalam mesin. Test kandungan dia betul ataupun tidak. And of course, kalau kita nak prepare ni, nak hancurkan tu, nak gunakan berapa banyak powder is based on the STP lah, berapa gram nak timbang tablet ni. Okay, 5 gram. So timbang 5 gram, masukkan dalam volumetric flask, top up with solvent sampai 100 ml for example, make sure everything is dissolved, and then put it in the HPLC, high performance liquid chromatography instrument, and run the samples, the standard and the sample solution. And in the end kita boleh dapat bacaan from the computer. Tengok kandungan sama ataupun tidak, 100% ke 50%. Okay, so this is in essence, in a nutshell also, how do we perform analysis. So tadi saya tengah explain tentang identification test. So kalau dalam in this case for example, kita prepare 2 solution. Kita prepare menggunakan kaedah TLC, thin layer chromatography, which you will learn in detail dalam chapter 5, which is chapter untuk chromatography. Okay, so kita nak prepare ni, kita perlu, kalau kita nak buat test ni, kita perlu prepare 2 solutions. Solution number 1 is the standard solution. So dia kata kat sini timbang 112.5 mg, which is equivalent to 5 mg of chlorpheniramine malate. And then solution number 2 is tadi ini adalah sample solution, my bad. Ini adalah sample solution, our tablet, okay, chlorpheniramine tablet. So kalau macam mana nak timbang 112.5 mg ni, hancurkan, take 10 tablets usually, hancurkan sampai jadi powder, and then timbang 112.5 mg. And then filter, evaporate to dryness, evaporate tu maksud keringkan. Apa lagi? And then dissolve in 1 milliliter of chloroform. Okay, itu siap solution 1. Just 1 milliliter, sikit saja. And then solution number 2 is the standard solution. Okay, the reference standard solution. So timbang 50 mg of chlorpheniramine malate. So this is the reference standard. And then dissolve dengan 10 milliliter of chloroform. And then kita buat this chromatography TLC. So macam mana kita nak tahu ini adalah the API of the tablet adalah sama dengan dalam reference standard. This is a test yang menggunakan pakai TLC, kaedah chromatography. So basically bila kita buat test ni, kita akan letakkan solution number 1 dekat sini, this one line here, and letakkan a drop of solution number 2 here. So kita akan dip this plate. Okay, kepingan plate ni kita akan letak dalam satu solvent, and solvent tu akan, larutan solvent tu akan akan diserap oleh this plate, dia akan naik ke atas. Okay, solvent tu akan travel upwards, dia akan basahkan kepingan plate ni. So bila dia travel upwards, dia akan carry the particles of the solutions upward also. Dia akan nampak, kita akan nampak spots like this. Okay. So kalau the particle of solution number 1 sama dengan particle in solution number 2, maksudnya basically dia adalah particle yang sama. This is the particles for chlorpheniramine malate. Kalau dia punya kedudukan adalah sama, ini solution number 2 is our standard, solution number 1 is our sample of our chlorpheniramine tablet tadi tu. So the particles in our sample, in our tablet, is the same as the particles in our reference standard. That means dia punya behavior is the same. Perangai dia sama. Dia punya chemical and physical properties of the particles adalah sama. So kalau dia punya behavior is the same, dia punya chemical properties is the same, that means we can make a conclusion mengatakan it is the same thing. The particle in our tablet is the same as the particle in the reference standard. Therefore, we have identified dia punya API. Okay, so that is how one method we can use to perform identification test. Okay, so that is one example lah how we perform test. Kalau kamu rasa macam overwhelmed banyak sangat, so kenapa nak kena tahu semua benda ni? My point is, saya nak kamu tahu how we pharmaceutical chemists perform a test. So in essence, saya nak kamu, kalau kamu macam blur sangat, kamu hanya perlu tahu untuk buat test, basically kita perlu bandingkan our sample, our tablets tu dengan sesuatu bahan yang lebih tinggi ketulinan dia. Kita perlu compare, kita perlu bandingkan. Itu yang saya nak kamu dapat from apa yang panjang-panjang saya cerita tadi tu. Okay? So to perform all test, kita perlu bandingkan our sample, bahan yang kita nak test dengan bahan yang mana ketulinan dia lebih tinggi. In the term that we use adalah reference standard, rujukan, kita rujuk. Samalah macam kamu. If you are into something, if you want to be good at something, you have something to aspire to. Katakanlah if you find somebody that is beautiful, kamu nak jadi cantik macam dia. So you try to do the things that person do. Kalau macam dia make up cantik, kamu tengok dia punya Instagram, okay, dia pakai this makeup, dia pakai this foundation, dia pakai this eyeliner. So you buy the same thing as that person because you aspire to have the same quality as that person. Okay, itu maksudnya reference, rujukan. Kita bandingkan ourselves with that person. Kalau kamu nak jadi macam you want to lose weight, you find somebody is good at losing weight, kamu tengok dia buat exercise apa. Okay, they perform this exercise, that exercise. Dia buat 3 kali seminggu. Dia makan macam ni. So kamu perform all those exercise macam yang dia perform. Kamu makan macam yang dia makan. Okay, itu maksud bila saya cakap rujukan, kita bandingkan. So samalah konsepnya macam ubat-ubat yang ditest tu. Kita ada ubat yang kita nak berkesan dengan baik. Kita nak dia selamat dimakan. So kita bandingkan ubat itu tu dengan satu bahan yang mana kualitinya dah berkesan, dah selamat dimakan. Itulah reference standard. Okay? So with that in mind, kita stop saat we take like a 5-minute break. Kita sambung at 10:10. Okay? Kita akan buat one exercise untuk test whether you understand or not yang saya cerita panjang-panjang tadi tu. Okay? 10-minute break. Kita sambung at 10:10. Okay, hi, I'm back. Sorry lambat sikit because saya tengah handle anak-anak saya tadi. Okay, alright. So kita akan continue our lesson today. So hopefully saya nak finish the first chapter today. And my plan is saya nak combine your cohort with cohort 13 from Penang. So I'm teaching the same module with cohort 13 also. They have finished their first chapter. Tapi kelas tak sama. Should have done that before. Never mind, cannot then. Your slot time tak sama. Tak apalah, kita akan finish chapter 1 either way today kalau boleh. Maximum today kita akan finish class by 11 . Okay, so right now kita nak do some exercise, a quiz which saya dah attach in your Google Classroom. Okay, baik ke atas kali ni. Okay, tapi saya tengok baru ada seorang saja yang buat, but it's okay. Kamu boleh buat later. Kalau lepas kita discuss hari ni, you can do it afterwards. Okay, kalau kamu dah buat, yang dah buat tu, kamu tak puas hati with your marks ke apa, kamu perasa macam okay, salah kat sini, and then you can do it again, you can get a higher marks. Because all the tutorials yang saya attach kat dalam Google Classroom will be a part of your, grade. Okay, dalam bahagian continuous assessment ada slots untuk tutorial. So this is like tak silap saya 24% kot. So all the tutorials yang saya bagi dalam Google Classroom ni akan amounted to 24% of your grade. Okay, so please buat and submit. Okay, and ada deadline, so make sure kamu tak pass the deadline. So for example, untuk this one, kalau kamu tekan kat sini, oh, you cannot see deadline. Oh no, deadline kat bahagian instructions. Due August 13. Saya set due August 13. So the deadline is August 13. So kalau kamu submit after August 13, saya akan dapat notification kata okay, this person submitted late. Dia submit on the night of 15 August. Okay, tapi all the marks dia tak akan automatically calculate lah. So make sure you buat all the tutorials within the due date. Okay, nak tengok due date bila, buka bahagian classwork tu, click on the tutorial and then click on the instruction. Okay. So for this one, let's get to question number 1, because from the questions kita akan discuss the right answer and then discuss the theory behind it, the story behind it. So question number 1, QC, okay, quality control, because this is the next topic in chapter number 1. Okay, so chapter number 1 kita dah cover in the beginning tadi saya dah cover with the lecture, how do we perform test in essence, ada kita follow pharmacopoeia, and we develop an STP, standard test procedure punya book based on pharmacopoeia, and kita perform multiple types of tests. And some of them adalah macam saya tunjuk tadi, appearance test, assay test, and in detail saya cerita tadi adalah identification test. Macam mana kita perform identification test by comparing our tablets dengan a reference standard. Okay, so that's the part yang kita dah go through without referring to the lecture note. So sekarang dekat bahagian QC. Okay, so saya plan to discuss the QC topics menggunakan this tutorial. Okay, so question number 1, quality control is a procedure and guidelines to ensure the manufactured products are up to standard. Okay, quality control QC adalah satu kaedah, satu panduan yang dibuat untuk memastikan semua bahan-bahan yang dibuat mematuhi piawaian, mematuhi standard. True or false? Jawapannya adalah true. Okay, that is the QC's job, dia punya roles, dia punya peranan dalam any manufacturing. Orang buat kilang makanan ada QC, kilang perabot ada QC, kilang ubat pun ada QC. Question number 2, choose the correct components of QC. So QC ini basically apakah aspek-aspek komponen kerja yang dia buat. So saya ada bagi 4 pilihan kat sini, and the right answer is all of them. QC buat sampling juga, bukan warehouse sahaja. Specification pun dia yang buat. All the test yang kita buat tu kita pilih from pharmacopoeia, so QC personnel, QC staff yang pilih. Kita nak follow USP, so all the specification kita follow USP, so QC yang buat. Testing, all the testing is performed by QC. And lastly, documentation. Bila kita buat test, bila kita buat specification, kita kena tulis report. Kita kena simpan that report. Okay, so documentation is also a part of QC. So all of them, sampling, specification, testing, and documentation are the components of QC. Question number 3, if you have any questions, just turn on your mic. Kalau kamu tulis dalam chat room, saya macam tak perasan ke, saya tak dengar ke bunyi notification tu. So if you have any questions, just turn on the mic and tanya soalan. Question number 3, choose the correct reason why an analytical weighing balance is best to be placed on a marble working bench. So this is based on the video yang ada dalam Google Classroom. So all the, most of the tutorial questions will be based on the video lectures yang saya post dalam Google Classroom. So make sure kalau macam this saya akan tulis dalam bahagian description tutorial tu, dia cover lesson apa. Contohnya, for example, untuk this assessment, saya tulis kat sini, cover lesson number 1 sampai lesson number 4. So some of the questions will be based on the video yang saya attach. So kalau macam contohnya soalan tadi pasal weighing balance, so dia ada di cover, ada diceritakan dalam video ini, how to use an analytical balance, lab tools and equipment, because we perform analysis using glasswares, using chemicals, using instruments, using lab tools. So you have to be familiar with all these things. So disebabkan kita buat kerja online learning sekarang, kita tak boleh masuk makmal. Practical class, lab class also kamu tak boleh nak masuk. So that's why saya attach this video so that you can actually see, you will know, you can see how it is used in the lab. The purpose dia apa, rupa dia macam mana. So make sure don't skip on watching these videos. Tak lama pun saya dah pilih video yang macam 3 minit saja, 4 minit saja. And you can watch this like it's probably longer than TikTok videos, but it's not that long. 4 minutes, 3 minutes only. And rules and responsibility ni ada ditulis dalam lecture notes. So kalau kamu macam tak nak tengok video, you can still read the lecture notes. Tapi it is best that you watch all of them. Okay? So question number 2 tadi apa dia? Choose the correct reason why an analytical weighing balance is best to be placed on a marble working bench. So analytical weighing balance ni dia sangat sensitive to movements and vibrations. So kalau kita letak atas meja kayu yang tak stabil, yang mudah bergetar, kalau macam kita hentak-hentak meja, dia akan vibrate. So dia boleh affect bacaan. Okay? Kalau kita letak weighing balance tu dekat dengan pintu tu bila kita buka akan ada draft, akan ada laluan angin, angin akan ditiup. So dia boleh affect also weighing balance punya bacaan. So dalam videos, dalam lecture note ada cerita kalau nak letak the best place to place a weighing balance is away from windows, away from ventilations macam aircon, macam kipas, away from pintu, and best place on a marble working bench. Okay, batu marmar, batu kapur, because they what's the word? Dia tak banyak conduct vibration. Okay, kalau kita hentak marble bench, dia tak bergetar as much as kita hentak meja kayu. Okay, so that's why it is best to place on a marble working bench, because we want to minimize vibration, because vibration can affect the readings of the weighing balance. Question number 3, it is not recommended to use the weighing balance near a door. Ini yang saya cerita tadi lah. It is not recommended to use the weighing balance near a door, a window, or air vents because it can be affected by air current, angin. Okay, bila kita buka pintu, angin tertiup. Bila kita buka tingkap, angin from outside comes in. Aircon also has a fan, dia boleh tiup. So, dia boleh affect bacaan weighing balance. Next question, the following are the rules of QC except. So, the rules of QC ada 3. So, first one is test product. Number 2 is identify non-conforming products. Non-conforming product maksudnya produk yang tidak mematuhi standard. Bila kita buat 10 test, satu dia fail one of the test. So kita identify, okay, produk ni tak pass this test. So kita identify produk mana yang tak conform to the specification. That's why kita panggil sebagai non-conforming product. Non-conforming tu it is referring to the punya failure to conform to the specification. And number 3, rule number 3 of QC adalah isolate and investigate non-conforming product. So contohnya kalau macam saya tengah test chlorpheniramine tablet tadi, yang saya dapati warna dia tidak yellow. It is supposed to be yellow. Saya refer dalam STP, the color should be yellow. And then saya check, saya ambil 20 random samples, okay, 20 random tablets, and I check dia punya color, and 7 of them are not yellow. Dia dah jadi macam pale yellow, almost white. So that is, I have identified non-conforming products. Okay, I perform the test, the appearance test, and then identify 7 of the tablets, 7 of the 20 tablets that I selected not conform to the specification. And then I have to isolate that 7 tablets and investigate why are the colors pale yellow. Kenapa dia dah warna keputihan. That is basically, in a nutshell also, the rules of QC ada 3. Okay? QC does not approve products for sale. They perform all the tests, they write all the reports, and they akan pass the reports to QA, quality assurance. So QA is like the police of any organization. Dia tugas QA, tugas quality assurance adalah dia macam polis. Dia pastikan everyone from warehouse, production, QC mematuhi segala prosedur, segala guideline yang telah ditetapkan. Kalau macam warehouse buat kerja tak betul, and then they affect end product. Katakanlah dia buat dia store dia punya suhu warehouse, aircon rosak, so suhu warehouse naik. Ya, sepatutnya temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, tapi disebabkan aircon rosak, temperature naik jadi 37 degrees Celsius. That's hot untuk storage. Kita tak simpan barang dalam that temperature. So bila kita gunakan raw material from the warehouse untuk buat tablets, in the end QC detect something is wrong. Kita perform test 8 kali pun fail. So something is wrong. Bila kita buat investigation, cakap okay, QC warehouse punya aircon rosak, temperature naik. So bila temperature naik, dia affect quality of the raw material. That's why QC buat test, tak pas-pas. So QA akan make sure lah, dia akan investigate, dia akan perform, dia akan kawal everybody, make sure everybody follow all the procedure and protocols. Okay, so QA yang ada kuasa untuk approve products for sale. Okay, the following will be question about lab tools. So item number 1, identify this item. This is what we call a Buret. Okay, Buret is a glass rod. Okay, it is graduated. Selalunya dalam 25 dia ada different measurement. Yang saya selalu guna adalah 25 ml dan 50 ml. So dia ada senggatan kat sini lah, 0 sampai 50. And dia ada macam stop count here, kita boleh kawal. Kita nak keluarkan berapa banyak, berapa cepat, kita ada macam kepala pilih kat sini. So we use Buret untuk buat titration analysis, which kalau kamu boleh masuk lab, kamu akan buat sendiri by hand. Item number 2, this is what we call a conical flask. Okay, so this is what a conical flask looks like. Dia adalah kaca, bahagian bawah ada flat, rata, so kita boleh letak, place it on a table, tak perlukan any tool untuk bagi dia stabil. So we use conical flask untuk mix solutions. If you have two solutions you want to mix, you pour them in this flask and then you can swirl, kacau, without using a stirring rod. Tak perlukan any stirring rod untuk kacau. You just mix the two solutions in this flask and then swirl. Pegang dekat dia punya tengkok tu, dekat bahagian sini, at the neck of the flask, and then swirl, kacau lightly. Dia akan mix. So the purpose why it has a narrow neck adalah untuk mengelakkan daripada spillage, any pertumpahan, is that the right word? Kalau kita mix solutions, kalau kita kacau, kita swirl, dia tak mudah untuk tumpah. Kalau kita guna beaker yang mana bukaan dia besar, kalau kita swirl, dia boleh tumpah, mudah untuk tumpah. So that's why dalam beaker kita guna stirring rod. Kita tak mahu any of the solution to spill out. So if we if we need like an efficient tool, a better way to mix solutions, we use a conical flask. We just mix two solutions in there and just swirl. Okay, tak mudah untuk tumpah. The solution will not be as easy to spill out with conical flask. Which answers the next question. Okay, choose the correct reason why item number 2 has a narrow neck. The answer is to avoid spilling when mixing chemical solutions. Item number 3, this is what we call a pipette bulb. Okay, bulb of a pipette. A pipette is a tool, is a glass tool, glass rod yang kita guna untuk withdraw solutions. Kita boleh macam kita ada satu solution, kita nak just 1 milliliter saja. So saya ambil 1 milliliter pipette, I extract keluar. So to extract the solvent into the pipette, saya gunakan a pipette bulb. Okay, so this is what we call a pipette bulb, rubber. And this is what a pipette looks like. So there are different measurements, 1 milliliter, 2 milliliter, 5, 10 sampailah 50. So kalau kita nak accurately measure a certain amount of volume, kita akan guna pipette. Dalam makmal, this is the correct tool, the most accurate tool untuk buat accurate measurement. Katakanlah macam dalam STP kata, okay, take 20 ml of this solution. So the most accurate way of measuring 20 milliliter adalah dengan menggunakan pipette. Kita tak guna measuring cylinder, tak gunakan beaker. Beaker is the worst. Okay, is the least accurate of the measurement tools. Okay, bila kita cakap tentang mengukur volume, mengukur isi padu, we use pipette. Item number 5, this is what we call a volumetric flask. Okay, so dalam volumetric flask ni kita guna untuk prepare solutions of a certain concentration. Okay, dengan kepekatan yang tertentu. So for example, in this picture here, this volumetric flask ni, dia ada tulis ini 250 milliliter. So in this VF, in this flask, we can only prepare a solution with 250 milliliter. Dia tidak ada senggatan, tapi dia hanya ada satu line, one graduation line somewhere along the neck here. So kalau kita nak prepare a certain 250 milliliter, kita masukkan that solution sampailah that one line. Okay, kita tak boleh prepare 200 milliliter solution dekat dalam bekas ni. Okay, because ini hanya untuk solution sebanyak 250 sahaja. Kalau nak prepare 200 milliliter, you choose a 200 milliliter volumetric flask. Okay, the specific volume sahaja, isi padu yang tertentu sahaja. It is written on the flask. Kamu kena tengoklah, what's the reading. And second last question, second last betul. Blank personnel will accept and inspect any incoming materials at a manufacturing plant. The answer is warehouse. Okay, so kalau if you can imagine a kilang, a manufacturing plant, lori-lori yang kamu nampak selalu dekat jalan atas highway tu, those supplies, raw materials, whatever supply yang any kilang needs. So they are, bila dia sampai satu kilang, dia akan go straight to the warehouse. So warehouse akan do inspections, tengok sama ataupun tak sama macam yang kita order. Dia ada sijil dia, okay, or the person with the lorry akan kepilkan the product with the certificate. So kita akan compare the certificate with what we order. The appearance, the physical appearance selalunya kita check. The appearance and the amount akan diperiksa oleh warehouse personnel. So kalau tak sama macam yang kita order ataupun appearance dalam certificate kata warna this powder sepatutnya warna putih, tapi dah jadi start warna keperangan. So something is wrong. Maybe dah berkulat, tak tahu. So warehouse personnel tu boleh reject. We don't want this. Something could be wrong, it could affect our product. Okay, so that's the warehouse personnel punya job. Kalau okay, dia akan terima and dia akan simpan dalam gudang, dalam warehouse with the correct temperature and humidity. Oh, ada 3 more. Wow. Okay, true or false question. Sampling procedure will be performed by warehouse personnel for distribution and dispensing to production and QC. The answer is true. So bila warehouse personnel tadi dah accept the product, dah check semuanya betul, everything is correct up to specification, dia akan terima simpan dalam warehouse. So to begin production, dia akan buat sampling lah. Production needs 10 kilogram, so dia akan sample out 10 kilogram of the material bagi pada production. QC lab needs like small only 200 grams for testing, so dia akan sample out 200 grams bagi pada QC. So warehouse personnel saja yang boleh buat sampling dekat warehouse tu, okay, because dia telah dilatih untuk buat kerja-kerja sampling. Next one, choose the correct reason why personnel must wear personal protective equipment. Macam gown, kalau kamu tengok video yang saya show, the first one, the YouTube video, the plant tour. Kalau dalam warehouse nak buat any sampling work, kena pakai the jumpsuit, the white jumpsuit, the face mask, goggles, gloves. So why do we wear this PPE? Adalah untuk protect the personnel, orang yang buat kerja, and also to protect the product. Kita tak mahu ada any cross contamination. Kalau tak pakai face mask, air liur, habuk boleh jatuh dalam produk, boleh affect the quality of the product. Kalau tak pakai face mask, habuk-habuk, debu-debu from the product, from the powder boleh masuk. You can inhale those things and that could also affect your health. So that itu yang dimasukkan by this term, this answer here, cross contamination. Cross from the product to the personnel and from the personnel to the product. So to avoid cross contamination, kita tak mahu ada any pencemaran daripada produk kepada manusia, manusia kepada produk. That's why we wear PPE, which you should have some sense now, because kita in the pandemic now, kita pakai face mask. The reason we wear face mask adalah untuk protect diri kita sendiri and also untuk protect everyone else. Okay, kalau kita bersin, kalau kita bernafas, kita bersembang, we could spit into their faces, that could affect them. Okay, and also we wear it to protect ourselves. Kalau orang tu sembang, kalau dia macam tak pakai face mask, boleh kena pada kita, tapi kita terlindung because kita ada face mask. Okay, so that is the purpose of PPE. And lastly, okay, ini last, yes. Choose the correct name for the reference book that contains all the specific formulation, description and testing procedures for wide varieties of drugs. Jawapannya adalah pharmacopoeia. Okay, pharmacopoeia is the book that we refer to that has all these things, which is also ada dalam lesson number 3. What is a pharmacopoeia? Difference between QA and QC. 3 and 2 minutes, 5 minutes only. Okay, so make sure please read all this. Watch the videos before you do all this test, this tutorial. Okay, I think that's it for today. Kita ada one last topic untuk chapter 1, which is accuracy and precision. Kita akan sambung ni in our next class lah. Okay, so lesson number 4, accuracy and precision and types of error. So lesson 4 and lesson 5. In our next class, kita akan cover lesson 4 and lesson 5. Okay, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, kalau tak ada, thank you. Stay safe. See you in our next class.
Okay, sir. Thank you.